Good day to you friends and followers, my name is Ardric and welcome to Dark Souls 3. Uh, I attempted to do a couple of walkthroughs to begin with on this game and to show off the items and the things available to you uh, in the event that you decided to go ahead and attempt to do the, um, NPC Questlines. And although it kind of worked out at the beginning, I'm not quite good enough to really start a character out as a deprived or whatnot that would really benefit most, and go through all the quest lines from the very beginning and to not die and to make it look good and to just go from there. So rather than being one of those really cool people that does it from a new game and to show you all the really cool stuff right off the bat that you can do, I am just going to do this in New Game Plus. So another reason I decided to do this too was I've noticed that a lot of people who play the game, they are going to play through it again because they don't want to sacrifice their initial character out, just in order to grab a few quest lines or a gesture or something that they missed. So the point of this here being that I am going to show you all of the NPC quest lines that you can complete in one playthrough. Note that you cannot complete all of the NPC quest lines in one playthrough, and you cannot get all of the gestures in one playthrough at the same time as you're doing all the NPC quest lines, because there is a conflicting that was the wrong button. There is a conflicting gesture quest line moment. There are even conflicting quest lines. So that being said, it's worthy to note that there will be things like that you just can't do, things that you will have to sacrifice out in order to complete these quest lines, and in turn, you have to figure out what it is that you personally need or want to get in order to get the benefit out of this guide the way that you need to tailor it to you. But in general, I know that people missed quest lines the first time through. Maybe you were just trying to do things in opposite order than what the game kind of wants you to do it in. Or maybe you were just like me, and you attempted to recruit Yol, and you got him into your shrine, and then you got a free level, and then you thought, cool, and then he died, and you didn't know what was going on. It's all, pretty plausible, pretty possible kind of thing. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to fire up New Game Plus here, and we're just going to go through it a second time and grab that stuff that we missed. In turn, I'll tell you about all the covenants, where to get them, which 9 out of 10, most everybody knows where to get these covenants. The most likely one that was missed being probably Dark Moon or the Mound Maker. And we'll show how to get that, and then explain how to get the items associated with those covenants, as well as how you can just farm those things without even being online. So let's say you have the Dark Moon Blade Covenant, but you can't really play online. Maybe you just can't get a good connection to go kill people with, and instead you really? How did that work out? Wish I had that ability. Shoot people out of the air like that. Just run on my back too. Anyhow, I'll show you how to get the items without needing to be online and without having to worry about all of that. So you'll be able to just go in, and you'll be able to go ahead and get all of your 30 items required to level your covenant up without having to concern yourself with being online and being able to do it that way. So we're going to do this, and we're going to wake our buddy Mr. Gundyr up. Now, if this is your first time playing the game, and you're one of those people that just really wants to get everything in one go, then I'll try to help you out as much as I can there as well. And I did not get nearly as many hits as I wanted, but that's okay. transformation phase opens up such a good window. There we are. Before anybody asks as well, because I'm sure I'm going to get messages asking this like crazy. What level are you? What spec are you? What build are you? First, I'm going to say that the purpose of this guide is not to give you build ideas, spec ideas, what you need to do for New Game Plus, things like that, because honestly, this character here was specifically leveled and built just to go through this guide as easily as possible for me, so that I can show you guys stuff without there being any problems with my terrible playing. So I want to point that out to begin with, that this isn't a Meta 120 character that is designed to PvP, because I'm not. I'm not designed to go in PvP. This character is just there for fun, to play the game, and to get through the second playthrough here for the walkthrough for you guys, and that's the extent of that. So I want to let you know that before anything else. I don't know if that Swordmaster's still going to wreck me or not. So getting on with the guide here. Here's Little Miss Shrine Handmaiden. You've got an NPC right there. These are your first two NPCs you're going to be interacting with. But before you do that, come over here and then ember this this sword here. Okay, so let's speak first to Little Miss Nice Hair here.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end I am at thy side. Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring me souls plucked from their vessels.
Now the interesting thing is, she
Ashen
says,
One, may the flames guide thee.
she says that, but the interesting thing is, she said that we are the vessel for their souls. And as a vessel, does that mean that we, since we continue to die and be reborn, does that mean that we personally do not have one? Since we already died once ourselves and we're apparently down and we lost our personal one? It's an interesting thing. Now Hawkwood, he's going to have his own interesting storyline as you go on as well. You're going to speak to him twice and get some information from him.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends, with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think? What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. We're talking true.
Okay, well maybe it's just the once. Because I thought it was twice. The interesting thing he points out is that we can't even die right, which again, showing that we die and come back, you know, and so therefore we are different in that regard. But one thing that I thought was interesting that nobody really commented on, I had watched a few people starting up this game because I wondered if anybody else was going to comment on this. Well, he says we return them to their molding thrones. Well, he doesn't mean molding as in moss is on it or mold grows on it, or that there's nobody there, so it sits and is empty, and therefore moss and mold would grow on it because nobody's there. He would meant molding as in it shapes them, it turns them into something. So the people who sit on it, they become something. and I think that's a very interesting way that it was worded, because I don't know, maybe it was just in a translation thing where maybe they, it really does just mean that there's nobody in it, and so it's got mold on it. We're trying to bring them back to burn all the mold off. But I think it's a little deeper than that, because we all know how Dark Souls is in that regard. So let's go see if this guy beats me to death. Nope. Ow. Okay, maybe. Do you want to just stop with that? Dear God. My turn. Ow. No, I guess it's not my turn. Sorry. I got a little antsy. Can I just get this hit? Can I just get this one hit, please? Thank you. I sincerely appreciate you letting me do that. Now, whichever playthrough you are on, that is a very important piece of this, because I'm also going to be showing off all the summons in this game, and how to get them, use them, and whatnot, because summons make some fights easier and some fights harder. And it seems like they would make all fights a little easier because, hey, there's more people. But the truth of the matter is there are some boss fights that just, they will wreck you. One that you might want to put to note is, oh, and of course there's going to be spoilers in this all the way through. I'm going to assume that someone's already played the game through. If you have not played it through and you do not want spoilers, probably not the walkthrough you're going to want. But when you are against the Lothric and Lorien fight, then the ability to summon a couple of phantoms seems like, oh man, it'd be great, because you know you're poking Lorien in the back, you're trying to get Lothric. I did that, and it tore me up pretty good. It made the fight a lot more difficult. Oh geez, bye. And it was just a difficult thing to do. So I just want to point out that it can be easier and it can be more difficult. So it's something to keep in mind when it comes to that, and to remember that even though you can summon the NPC in, sometimes it's not really the wisest thing to do. But you can also use the NPCs to just go around and beat stuff.
To make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont? No? Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death?
Of course, everyone knows who the handmaiden
Ashen
is.
One, be sure to bring more souls.
Ooh, I'll be hearing that a lot from talking to you. And in turn, we all know her deal. I will point out real quick here in the shrine, what we're going to be doing is, Irina is going to be over there in that far hallway. Over here, straight ahead from me, is going to be where Orbeck will be. Right down here is where Corinx will be. And then opposite of where Irina will be, over on that side, there'll be Yol, who will turn into Yuria, which is 9 times out of 10 why everybody's watching the walkthrough to begin with, because they missed Yol and Yuria. Grey Rat will be right here, will be our first recruitable NPC that we run into. Carla will end up down here, and she'll be coming in much later. Of course, our blacksmith is never going to be moving. And one thing to point out, that there will also be, besides Hawkwood out here, there will be a couple of points when Henri will point in, or Henri is how I more see it as a male character. I'll point more on that when we get there. And then, of course, we'll have Egon who will pop in, and then on the throne over there we will have Leonhard, and then on the steps near the Handmaiden we will have Cirrus. So I will bring all of that up when the time comes. I will show you the exact
All
order.
that unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludleth of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my charred corse. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look. Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast-fading flame must be linked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus. Treat the Firekeeper not with discourtesy. She is much like thee, prisoners both, kept to link the fire.
Now, of course, we all know who Ludleth is, and his deal. I think it's interesting, though, that Ludleth decided that he would stick to his fate, and in turn would stay here. I just found that interesting that he just said, yeah, we're gonna go do this. Cool. And he was up for it, and the others were like, nope, I'm good. I'm gonna do something else. So, I found that interesting. So, that's going to do it for this episode here. Pretty much covered everything that I can think of here with Firelink Shrine. Actually, no, I'm lying. That's not going to be the end here. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and grab this tower key. We're going to go ahead and knock out the tower while we're here. Now, one thing to note as well is that you can still pick up Estus shards and things like that. However, they're going to have no bearing. I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. You're not going to have any bearing on anything. You're capped at your +10 and your 15 flasks. So, oh, and as I did forget, we will also have our friend Patches up here. But one thing that is to note is that also, I've seen people not know how this works with the Sea of a Giant Tree. They figure if you kill bosses, it will eventually drop, and it does not. How it works is once you're invaded, it starts this this count of the number of times you're invaded, and after so many, you will get this tree to drop this. I don't know if it's 3, 5, or what, but that's how that works. You use the seed, and all of the NPCs around you, all the mobs, they can then attack the invader. So you can turn all the NPCs around you into helpful aids, and they can go beat on stuff for you, which is really neat. But at any rate, what I was going at was there are a lot of walkthroughs that I had seen that did not have the exact order of things to go in and things like that. They didn't show you from the beginning of the game on through what order you needed to be in to do the NPC Questlines, and to be able to do it in the correct order, because you can look something up that you missed, like, oh man, I didn't see this Siegfried point, or you know, I screwed something up in Siegfried's quest, or man, what did I miss with Cirrus? And there's one point in the game that it's rather pivotal. I want to note that this right here actually will screw up the quest line for Yuria, and you'll so whether or not you get that is kind of up to you. You can actually just leave that there with no consequence to the game at all. You don't have to have that by any stretch of the imagination. And so, you know, it's easy to look something like patches. Oh man, I screwed up a point of patches. I need to look it up, and that's a thing. So, you know, just want to point out that it's not necessarily that you can't just look up a single quest line or whatever that you missed, but knowing when to do all of it in the right order is a little on the tricky side. I have died on this jump several times. Yep, there it is again. So, I'm going to go ahead and point that out. That's the Firekeeper set. For anybody that wants to be a caster, there's a good set right there you can wear. It looks really good on female characters especially. Started my Pyromancer with that, and it's a nice set. So here's what I'm going to pop up. I'm going to run back to that tower. I'm just going to go ahead. I forgot to do, forgot to rest at the other one. I do that every time, though. The shrine. And what we'll do is we'll go back to the tower. We'll drop back down. We'll just go ahead and pick up the Estus ring, which is unnecessary, but I wanted to go ahead and show it anyway. So at any rate, this is not quite a walkthrough. That's going to be based on just exactly how you play the game from beginning to end, or just show you where every single little thing is. My point of this would be to get to where I can show you all of the NPC Questlines and all of that in New Game Plus, since that's going to be where most people are going to be. Most people do not want to abandon their characters, and with rightful reason. So, whenever this fog gate decides to go down, I will proceed right on through. Okay. Alright, good deal. I'm going to run back up here. I'm going to run back across this here bridge. And grab these here souls. In fact, actually what I'll do is, since everybody knows the Estus ring is down there, 9 out of 10, everybody already knows this as well. Most people use the tree jump since it still works and just kind of gets on the roof, but it is important to note that the actual crow nest being up here.
Me, pickle pea. Me, bumperum.
Now, I've heard a lot of people say this is Pickle Pea, Pumperum person, or the name of the crow. But since this mimics Dark Souls 1 so heavily...
You!
Yeah,
Me!
yeah, I'm talking. I think that actually this is still Snuggly. I would still think this is Snuggly, just in a different form. So, I do believe that. And I believe that to be the case. So, now... I don't believe there's an item... Yeah, I know. I don't believe there's an item here, unless it's the one that's over here still. Right here. Okay. A few Homer bones. I'll hop back in here. Go ahead and grab this here Estus shard up here. That doesn't do me good. And he's going to talk again. So, a note there. Alright. Continue on over here. In the event that you missed it on the first playthrough, go ahead and run in through here. Which this is, of course, acquirable via the tree jump, which is good to note. Your Covetus Silver Serpent ring. Now, one thing I didn't notice is that you can't stack rings of the same type. So, if you have 2 Covetus Silver Serpent rings, you can't drop both of them on. I don't know if that rule still applies to the +1 versions, but I do know base versions you can't mess with. You can't do anything with. So that's something of interest to keep in mind. Now we're going to run back up here for one reason, and that is because to my right up there, there's a lizard. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over this way. So I can find him here without spooking him off. Right here. There we go. Goodbye. Awesome. Excellent. Cool. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and run back through here. I will show the Estus ring real quick before, but this tower, it'll mess with your camera pretty nicely. Feel a little woozy. Okay, so thanks for checking this out as well as we go through. I know the first episode is never the most entertaining, because you're always covering the beginning of the game here, and that's just not that entertaining to begin with. You're just kind of getting into the game here in the beginning and learning what you're doing, and then walkthroughs and all. Everyone's always like, I already did all that, I don't care. So, sorry about that, but it does afford me the opportunity to kind of let you know what the goal is in all of this. So, that being said, I'm going to head back here to the shrine, and then in the next episode we're going to hit High Wall, and when we hit High Wall, we'll begin recruiting our first NPCs into the shrine, and noting the correct order in which to do everything. I've already forgotten where the door is at. How many times have I been here? How do I play this game? What am I... Wait, what? I'm so lost. How did I do this? What? Just wandering around in the woods forever now. I'm never going to find the... Okay, well, here's the road. Good deal. Excellent. We've made it back to the shrine successfully without being lost and killed. So, thanks guys. I'm going to see you in the next episode, which, again, we'll get our first Covenant. We'll get our first NPC recruited. I'll point out that when the next NPC is going to trigger in, which will be at High Wall, and then I will point out the summons in the area. There'll be 2 summons in the next one, and I'll show those off as well. So, thank you guys for checking out the video, and I will see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.